Hello my beautiful people and welcome to Brush Strokes with Namita. Today we're going to show you something super easy but very different. This is a very simple sultry brown cut crease look but with a dash of some glitter. So without further delay, let's get right into it. So first up, we're using this gorgeous bronze extended palette by Kylie Cosmetics and dipping into this orangey shade called Tiger Eye and using an angled brush by again Kylie Cosmetics. I'm gonna start by stroking this outwards from the outer corner of the eye in order to create a cat eye. And eventually I'm gonna start smoking this inwards by picking up more and more pigment. I'm gonna intensify the intensity of the pigment that I'm using, and I'm just gonna make sure that I smoke it out, kind of like smoking out a normal eyeliner that you would on your eye, something like that. I'm gonna be repeating the same step on the other side of the eye. I'm gonna make sure that I'm very neatly doing this step because I don't want to mess up and create a dusty, messy look for myself on my eye. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing this very carefully while creating this cat eye. Next up, we're gonna use this brown Morphe blending brush and dipping into the shade from the same palette called Topaz. We're gonna start in circular motions and move from the middle of the eye towards the inner side of the eye. The reason we are doing this is because we want to create a dimensional look. So we're going to use our transition shade to create a dimension from the inner corner of the eye, moving almost towards the middle of the eye, maybe just a little bit beyond that, but not taking it all the way towards the outer side of the eye. Next up, we're using the bullet brush from the Kylie Cosmetics 2016 Holiday Edition and dipping into this brick shade from the same palette called Hematite. We're going to start by intensifying the transition shade that we placed from the inner corner of our eye, moving towards the outer side, but not all the way to the end of our eye. I'm sorry that my camera is not able to pick up the exact pigments and the two eyes are looking different. I apologize for this, but this is just the lighting and my camera. With the same bullet brush, I'm going to smoke out and intensify the transition shade that I used in order to create that cat eye as well. Next up, we're using the flat fluffy brush from the same Kylie Cosmetics palette and not picking up any pigment. I'm just going to blend the harsh lines that I can see on the eyes at the moment. After this, dipping into the shade called Bronzite from the same palette and using the same angled brush that I used previously, I'm just going to intensify the cat eye near the lash line. The reason we're doing this is because the darker your lash line, the more sleek and sassy your eyes look. This mostly applies when you're using darker shades, kind of like browns or blacks and grays. This every time you try to make your lash line look super dark, it gives a very sleek and a very sharp look. Next up, we're using the Morphe M57 Bullet Crease brush and we're just going to use this brush, not picking up any pigment, to just smoke this out a bit more and make sure that the three shades that we've used are nicely blended. After this, we're going to be using the flat fluffy brush, the small one, from the Kylie Cosmetics I Want It All collection in 2017. Not picking up again any pigment on this brush and just gonna make sure that my shadows are nicely blended. See, blending is the key, so you have to be patient while doing your eyes if you want your eyes to look super nice. Next up, we're gonna use the flat concealer brush from the Holiday collection and dipping into the shade called Jasper, which is kind of a white-ish tone shade, and we're just gonna start by pressing this pigment, not moving in round motions, not moving in back and forth motions, but just very gently pressing the pigment on the eye and creating a cut crease. So my last pro tip to you guys was that you have to figure out your crease. So for this particular look, you're gonna have to figure out your crease in order to do this, because until or unless you're sure of where your crease falls, you will not be able to create this look, or you're not going to be able to place any pigment or concealer for any kind of cut creases, or like, you know, cut crease eye looks. Next up, we're gonna go in with a flat concealer brush from BH Cosmetics. This is number 8. And with the same pigment, Jasper, which was the white, we're going to start by intensifying this white in the crease in order to give that pop of white, the pop that we are going for this look. Next up, we're gonna go back with using our angle brush and dipping into this gorgeous dull gold shade called Pyrite. We're gonna again start by smoking the lash line and give a more intensified cat eye. After this, I'm going to use the Black Magic Kajal pencil in the shade Black by Nykaa Cosmetics, and I'm going to start by drawing some lashes and just intensify the eye. In your case, I would request you to please add kajal in your waterline, in your lash line, on the upper eyelid, and of course on the lower one as well. The reason we're doing this is again to intensify our lash line. Since we're not using a black eyeliner, I would really appreciate it if you could apply kajal pencil in your upper lash line. It would give a really sharp look to your eyes. Next, we're going to use the bullet brush once again that we previously used, and dipping into the darkest brown called Bronzite again, we are going to start by smoking out the lower lash line. You want to make sure that you're very carefully placing this pigment in your lower lash line, because you do not want to make a mess, and especially not if you have already done your base. After this, we're going to dip once again into the transition shade called Tiger Eye that we used for the upper eyelids, and using the small flat fluffy brush, we are going to smoke out the two shades, the dark brown Bronzite and the Tiger Eye shade. We're just going to smoke this out. Stop going back in with our Morphe M574 bullet brush, and using the terracotta shade Hematite, we are going to start by smoking out the lower lash line. I know that smoking out the lower lash line can seem like a major task, but it is a very important step, because our eyes end up looking super bland many times, and we often don't realize that. After this, I'm just going to draw some brows. After this, we're going to be using the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter in the shade Midnight Cowboy, and very carefully I'm going to start intensifying my crease by placing this glitter in my crease line. I'm just going to intensify the glitter by slowly dabbing more and more glitter into the crease, because I was not satisfied with the amount of glitter that was on there. You can keep it to a minimal, or you can go extra, whatever you prefer. After this, we're going to use the Morphe B72 bullet brush, and using the KKW contour and highlight palette, using this pinky shade. This is the shade Highlight 2. I'm just going to highlight the brow bone, and also use the same shade and the same brush to highlight the inner corners of both the eyes. And with that, my beautiful people, I want to tell you that we are done with this gorgeous glam look, sultry brown cut crease. I hope this was an easy one for you to follow. Please watch out for the pro tips before you watch these videos, because they would be really helpful when you do see these videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM us, or you can contact us from the email given in the bio. Please don't forget to like this video, follow my page. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and we'll see you in the next one.